Sup guys, it's Dragon Ball for Life here. Now, in my last video, I was debunking the first Goku versus Superman death battle video, and in that video, I said that I was going to do a part of the second one. So today, I'm going to be doing the second one now. Luckily, the second one is a lot shorter than the other one, so this video will probably be also a lot shorter. Because in the other one, I kind of ran quite a bit long, and I'm trying not to make it too long because I want you guys to enjoy it and be able to watch it without sitting there for like an hour or over an hour. So sorry for taking so long in the last video. Also, sorry for the audio being choppy and having problems and going in and out. I was really trying to fix that up because I just started using OBS. That was my first time I actually did a full-on stream and video of it on OBS Studio. So I'm still new to it and I still have quite a bit of problems using it, and I really can't check to see my audio because it saves it into a file later on, so I can only notice it later on. But I already recorded fully into it and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put up there. But I don't like the fact that I put up bad quality that a lot of people didn't want. Obviously I like the video and I'm proud of it because I put quite a bit of good information and effort into it, but the problem for me was the fact that the video started having the audio going on and off. Now, I did try to fix it yesterday. I started watching a ton of videos on how to fix the problem, and I spent like a couple of hours, like 2 hours, trying to fix it. So hopefully today that there is no audio problems from my side or the video. The video shouldn't have any problems itself, but if you hear any problems with my voice, feel free to tell me and say, hey, look, man, you're having problems here, and if you're willing, if you know something and know how to help, that'll be very appreciated. So thank you. I know this is kind of a long intro, so let's get into the video. Also, I'm going to be once again skipping again after this video. I don't know if I'm going to be watching a Boo versus Kirby video or Goku Black versus the Reverse Flash first. So depending on which, I don't know which I'm going to be watching, but that'll be coming out next Monday. So be prepared for that.
Goku, Superman, Titans of Power, Strength, Speed, Durability.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Ability, flight, and the power to shoot heat from his eyes, which can be large enough to vaporize a planet or precise enough to perform.
I reproved the whole vaporizing planet, seeing how that wasn't the case. So once again, they're using incorrect feats.
From lobotomies. Superman was so powerful he could carry entire solar systems on.
Now, this one here, where he was moving the planets, this was in his Silver Age state, and this is, I think, when he was younger in that one. Now, obviously, this is pretty ridiculous that there's a chain this long and this big. And it doesn't look that big, but it looks big enough that he's holding it and pulling all these planets. But remember this, even if, let's say, he's carrying 1,000 planets, that will be only equivalent to the weight of let's say, their Earth size and Earth, made out of materials like how the Earth is. At most, even if they had 1,000, it would weigh as much as the Earth without it being in the vacuum of space. Because in the last video, they explained how in outer space, since it's a vacuum, basically, the planet will weigh 1,000 times less lighter. So it will be 1,000 times lighter. So all these planets will be 1,000 times lighter. Even if you total them all up and say it's 1,000, then it'll only equate the Earth's whole weight as a whole without it being affected by outer space.
Which hope? Stating that Superman would die to a fall from the moon to the Earth. A decade later,
I mean, some versions would only obviously the animated versions, like the Justice League one. When he was fighting against Doomsday and stuff, he came down. I don't know if it was the Justice League show, but I think it was the first Death of Superman movie where he fought Doomsday and he came down to crash Doomsday. No, actually, I think it was the show. Sorry. He crashed him down and he basically took himself out in that. But those are weak iterations of it. So yeah, Superman won't die from falling from the outer space to the ground. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Website out.
Now I'll say this. I think the best out of this has nothing to do with the fight analysis itself, because obviously they didn't really put anything. I guess they put more of the analysis towards the end to say why Superman won, but in the beginning, they just talk about the characters themselves. I forgot that they didn't really go in depth at all, so that was kind of like pointless. But this has nothing to do with the fight itself. I just want to say that the animation in this video looks very good. I think out of all the death battles that we've seen, I like the first and second Goku vs Superman death battles visuals the most out of any other ones. But yeah, they really didn't put anything in the beginning. I get it that they're basically saying that we did most of it before, but since they're talking about they have new feats that they did and stuff, they should have at least gone in depth and explained those, you know.
I will beat you! Stop it! This is over!
I'm sorry.
Now you see that's the scene where it pissed off a lot of Dragon Ball fans who are saying, how could Goku, how come he walked right through the Kamehameha like it was nothing and lasered his head? But it's funny because we do have two instances like that in the real Dragon Ball series. For example, the laser part, we had that all the way back in Resurrection of F, and this is why they're using this, I guess. And it was basically Goku beat Golden Frieza, or Golden Frieza's power was going down, and he assumed that he won. But Frieza had another backup plan, and it was to get his henchman Sorbet to shoot a laser through Goku's chest, which did take him out because his guard was down. So when it first happened, the fans were arguing that it makes sense because his guard was down, though a lot of fans said that it was BS. Now it's weird for me to hear the fans complain, and these are the same people. It's not like the other people, and they do complain about this, but the people that here complain the most about this are the ones that agree that it made sense in Resurrection of F for Goku to be taken down by a basic laser because his guard was down, but then cried about it in this video when Death Battle put it in where like Superman doing to Goku. So it's just like, you're okay with Goku being taken down by a laser in Resurrection of F, but you're not okay with him being taken down by Superman's heat vision in this? That's just idiotic to me, and I'm just surprised why people were mad. I'm just like, you do know by accepting what happened in Resurrection of F, you can't complain about what happened in this. The only people who could complain about this scene are the ones who said that what happened in Resurrection of F was BS. I myself thought it was BS, and I wanted to do a video on, the Dragon Ball character's durability, especially when the guard's down, but that video was, the file was too big for me to, transfer over. So I'll probably do that some other time in the future, but yeah, the fact that that happened, that people are mad about it happening in this, is just weird to me. Also, the whole Superman walking through Goku's Kamehameha, I remember a lot of people were mad, like, he just walked through Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha like it was nothing. And I get that why they would be pissed, but then we do see this later on in Dragon Ball Super, which is it's crazy that they do this in Dragon Ball Super later on too, where we had Kale walk through Super Saiyan Blue Goku's Kamehameha also, and she was not affected by it either. She proceeded to grab him and smash him onto the ground. So once again, people didn't have a problem with that. They were saying that he was holding back, whatever, but she walked right through it easily. Even if he was holding back, he should have been able to do something. But she walked right through like that, and they didn't have a problem when she did that. But when Superman does it, then it's a problem, which is weird. I don't know why people defend that when it happens in the actual show, but when people are using it in a debate or argument to say why Goku would lose, a lot of people get mad about it. So I don't understand the Dragon Ball fans on that case.
All right.
See, the whole point of this video wasn't to like say, they got new abilities that we didn't use last time, so let's, try to put these different calculations and different feats in there to see who would win this time. It was basically just say, hey, we made that last video to say definitively that Superman would win, and no matter what Goku does, he would lose. So the fact that you guys are coming back and saying that he would win with these forms is like, it's annoying. Like, shut the hell up. Stop attacking us. Stop making all these debunking videos like I'm doing. Stop critiquing us. We basically proved who would win and definitively ended this debate. Now, I'm not saying once again that Goku would beat Superman, even with Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue, but I will say this. the fact that they're acting like Superman cannot be beaten by Goku at all, like no matter what he does, and try to push this BS narrative that he has no limits, just stop. Having King Kai tell him he has no limits. Shut up. He does have limits. Where the hell do these idiots get these no limits fallacy from? And I will prove it to you because they're gonna be showing a bunch of like statements or feats where they're like, oh, he did this, and I'll show you why it's a lot of BS that they're spouting. Because if Superman really is this powerful all the time, and their argument is, well, because in the beginning of the video, their argument was he does have this power. It's just that he puts these mental blocks to lower his power. And post-Christ Superman is now weaker than Silver Age Superman. No, they're definitively weaker. The writers wanted to make him weaker because he got to the point where he's too ridiculous for them to like write anything realistic. So they're like, you know what? The old Silver Age time was more goofy, more campy because there were censorships, but now we're back to normal and we need to be more mature. So for us to do that, we need to make Superman at least be more reasonable level of power. So no, they didn't just say, oh, he had mental blocks. That's BS. They're trying to say he's always, has no limits and that no matter what Goku does, he can't beat him. That's just BS. I don't like the way they try to do this. And they're getting butthurt that the fans were calling out their BS like I did. You saw my video. You saw how long it was. I paused multiple times and went in depth multiple times because there was so many things wrong and so much misinformation in it that it was like the fact that you guys are getting all pissy about it is like it's your fault. You got wrong information about Goku and Superman. You don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. So the fact that they made this is more like a passive aggressive way to tell the fans like, hey, stop complaining, stop disagreeing with this, stop telling us how to write and what is correct or not.
Goku is incredibly powerful, one which really doesn't belong in versus matches like these. Sure, due to the writing style of Dragon Ball, Super Saiyan God Goku's exact limits are difficult to pinpoint. Also, Goku will likely achieve a new form in the future. It's just how Dragon Ball works nowadays. However, none of that is really a factor. Goku will always have limits, while Superman's maximum potential is limitless.
Don't believe us? Well, strap in, boys and girls.
Well, potential and power is two different things. Like Gohan, he has a high potential. Even now, he has a higher potential than Goku and Vegeta. But Goku and Vegeta are stronger than him in Dragon Ball Super simply because they're just naturally stronger than him because they train to get stronger. He does have a higher, potential to get stronger, but that just means you can get stronger. And what do they mean by potential of he has like infinite power? Maybe it's just incorrect wording and I'm just being too nitpicky, but that doesn't really make sense.
Girls, let's look at how Superman breaks reality. One day, Superman was hanging out near Vega, the brightest star in the Lyra constellation.
For the record, that's 25 light years from Earth, or 147 trillion miles.
Naturally, a crisis occurred on Earth, so Superman's photographer buddy Jimmy activated his signal watch, calling for Superman's aid. And Superman arrived in a matter of minutes!
Being a comic book, the time Superman took getting to Earth is unspecified. However, the comic never mentioned or implied any large time lapse, and he arrived as the battle was ending. Even if we seriously lowballed this feat to taking 10 minutes, Superman would be traveling over 800 trillion miles per hour, over 1 million times the speed of light. But more impressively, Jimmy's signal watch operates by emitting a high-frequency sound only Superman can hear, which means Superman heard the signal in the vacuum of space 25 light years away.
Now that's BS. The reason Superman was able to tell wasn't because he heard a beep. He has a watch too, so he saw it going off. So that isn't the case. Also, flying from there, I will give it to them. He did come there really quick. I remember reading it. I think this was the All-Star Superman comic, so he might have had like an amp. So that, but in the original comics, like the Silver Age one, him and Supergirl were going at least hundreds of millions the times faster than the speed of light. I think Supergirl was going like 200 million times, like 100 million times the speed of light, and arguably Superman at his max would be going like at 200 million times the speed of light, which is impressive. And they could travel through back in time. But this is a post-Christ Superman that we're talking about, or I think New 52 Superman, so he shouldn't be as fast. But even so, I think that the problem that Screw Attack makes, and a lot of people who do these type of versus battles make, is they forget is travel speed doesn't really matter in a fight. it does have some components to it, but combat speed is the more important thing. And the reason I say this is a lot of people say, well, how are you going to say this is different? But tell me this, what would you rather have? Showing calculations of how fast somebody can move from one place to another, or how fast somebody can throw punches, kicks, elbows, and how fast they can block or dodge an opponent's attacks. That is far more impressive. You can't just say somebody that is a marathon runner or like Usain Bolt or people in running in track could throw punches and kicks faster than a martial artist or trained fighters. That's just ridiculous. And even Batman basically proves this. In one of the comics, Superman and Wonder Woman, they start talking trash to each other. And I think they use they show the panel on this later on at some point. If that's not the case, I'll still explain it. So basically, Superman and Wonder Woman are talking about who would win in a fight, and they're basically doing their own versus battle. And Superman was arguing that he's faster than Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman argued that she has faster muscle memory and that her reflexes are faster. Which Superman was like, so that shouldn't mean that you would beat me in a fight. I'm still faster than you, right? So they asked Batman, and Batman gave them the smart analysis. He said, okay, you have Usain Bolt, the fastest man alive, and you have Bruce Lee. Tell me which one would be able to throw more punches or kicks in, like, I think he said like in a minute or something like that. And that there and then shut the debate, because even though Usain Bolt is a track runner, that doesn't mean that he will be able to throw punches and kicks at the speed of a highly trained or fast martial artist. That's just a ridiculous comparison to make. And Batman proved it wrong, which I love, because even they said Batman is never wrong. So by their own notion, even if he does have the speed, it doesn't matter if he can't apply it in combat. And that does require for somebody to be able to be good at hand-to-hand combat. If they have low levels of hand-to-hand combat, they're not going to be able to throw punches as how fast they move. They would have to be like Superman. He could move dash fast. Like, let's say he punches somebody and sends them flying. He can fly behind them and stuff real quick. He can catch up to them and stuff, and he could probably run around in circles and throw punches. But most of the times, what he would do if he goes up to somebody's face is he wouldn't be moving, bobbing, and weaving at faster than the speed of light by like this speeds or crazy stuff. He would basically be stationary, throwing like a couple of haymakers. When you ever read the Superman comics or watch any of like his stuff, he's not throwing punches like Dragon Ball characters or like these other high-powered characters. He's not throwing like super fast and stuff. He's usually stationary. He throws a couple of solid power shots, sends them flying, and then starts either catching them or knocking them back around. But Dragon Ball characters, when you see them in combat, you can see their bodies moving, dodging, blocking. Superman really doesn't do that. He doesn't use barely any other part of his body besides his fists. He's usually punches, and on top of that, he's not really moving in super fast speed. And people try to bring up arguments saying, well, he's shown to phase in battles and stuff, but it's like, here's the thing. At most, there'll be multiple times the speed of sound, nowhere near the speed of light. From whenever we've seen Superman fight, he's never fighting so fast that he's fighting at light speed. I think at most he's fighting at like a couple of Mach speed, because there have been instances where they've shown him fighting characters who are moving at Mach speed and getting beaten up. Hell, even Silver Age Superman, he fought against the Karate Kid and lost in a fight against him. And this was just a kid who knows martial arts. He was using judo moves, and he was dropping him with that. And Superman was still not able to get the drop on him. And he's just a regular guy. Putting up somebody like Goku, who's far better of a fighter, far more advanced, knows different fighting styles, and on top of that has powers and super speed. If he can't beat Karate Kid, he's not going to be beating Superman. So people need to understand the difference between travel speed and combat speed. There is a distinct difference. When you're training, like, yeah, you might see boxers running. That's called road work, but that's basically for endurance. When they're using in the ring, they're not saying, oh, use that running to be like, this is how you move fast in a fight. No, that's footwork. That's a completely different thing. And footwork slows people down compared to just full-on sprinting. So that's different. I can also make a video on that. I already made a video on strength, lifting strength versus striking strength. So I can make a video on travel speed versus combat speed. So even though this is impressive, it doesn't really pertain too much to his speed in combat. If they really wanted to prove that, show instances and feats where he did this in combat. And if you guys disagree with me, then it's fine. But at least try to show some proof or evidence of him fighting in hand-to-hand combat at light speeds or at these insane speeds that they show.
That is physically impossible, except for Superman.
Oh, you aren't impossible! How about the time he lifted Spectre off the ground? A guy literally made up of eternity! No, not insane enough for you? Well then, how about the time Superman lifted a book of infinite pages? That's right, Superman lifted both eternity and infinity.
Though he did have some help from Wonder Woman and Shazam.
Hey Wiz, what's half of infinity? Infinity!
Regardless, they have limits in their own strength.
Let me explain these two scenes. The reason I let it go on was I wanted them both to be together because these were two feats that they're trying to show, saying, hey, Superman is, he's what's the thing called? They're trying to say he has infinite strength. So this proves our point, which would be good if that was the case. Let's first start with the Spectre one, lifting up Spectre. They say that he has eternity in him, and they state, I think later on in this video, they say it's actually, I'll just let it play and then I'll explain more.
Strength. So while they were lifting a specific set part for each load, Superman was lifting everything else, which literally means everything else. Really, Wonder Woman and Shazam didn't even need to be there.
Superman's held a black hole, survived an
Okay, so let's go on to that. Yeah, they didn't explain, but yeah, eternity is a measurement of time, not an actual weight, so that really doesn't count. Also, the Spectre cannot be infinite. If he had infinite weight, he would have gone straight through the planet, created a supermassive black hole, and collapsed the entire universe if he had infinite mass. Because the more mass an object has, the stronger the gravitational pull will become, and the crazier the extent is, it can become a black hole. That's what happens with stars when they start to collapse and compress all the energy in on itself. So for him to be actually weighing infinite, why would he be only crushing the surface of the planet? He should have gone completely through it. And them holding him, lift him up. Once again, they say that Superman did all the work, which is BS, because they had multiple people there. If Superman could lift all the rest and he can lift infinity, then why would they need them? Like, that's just pointless. Also, if you actually read the comic, he does fail to lift him up. You see on the bottom of the scene right there, there's the Green Lantern putting up a thing down there. So they both try to lift it up. If you actually read the comic book, I forgot which comic it was specifically, where both him and Wonder Woman try to lift him up as he went unconscious and fell down. He was heavy, but they never stated that he was infinite. They never even stated how heavy he was, and you can tell right here. If he was, he would have completely crushed through there. But he fell there, they tried to lift him up, and both Superman and Wonder Woman actually ended up failing to lift him up. So Green Lantern right there created the little thing to basically capture him and keep him contained in a small little pocket universe that he created with his ring. So no, Superman. So first, Spectre is not infinite. He's not infinite for two reasons. One, eternity does not equal infinity. Two, if he was infinite mass, he would have crushed through the. I don't know if this is the Earth or the Moon, but he would have crushed through this and became a supermassive black hole and ate everything up. The fact that all he's doing is destroying the surface already disproves that. And like I said, if you read the comic book itself, both Superman and Wonder Woman failed to lift up Spectre, and the only reason they're able to hold him or contain him was due to the Green Lantern creating a pocket dimension to capture him. So this is incorrect.
Wonder Woman and Shazam didn't even need to be there.
Superman's held a black hole.
And then the pages one, it was basically what they're trying to say is this book had infinite pages, and yes, that's the name of it. But from what they explained in the actual story, which was Final Crisis, Final Crisis event with Darkseid versus the Anti-Monitor, both Superman and Shazam went to the Limbo Realm to get these pages because they wanted to get some knowledge on I think trying to stop the fight or fix some problem. So they went there to get it. And the thing about the Book of Infinite Pages is, first of all, that's just a name. It does not have infinite pages, and the reason why I say it does not have infinite pages is, well, it was stated in the own comic itself that it had pages from every book written throughout the 52 universes. So yeah, does it have a ton of pages, and would that argument make it away quite a bit? But it would not make it infinite. It does not have infinite pages like the name says. It just has the page of every book that's ever been written throughout all the universes, which is why it's called that, because it has everything in it. And the thing about the book is they weren't even trying to lift it up. That wasn't the point of the thing. The point of it was to get in contact with it, to obtain the information, because when you touch it, it basically sends digital information from all the books, and you can specifically pick certain topics, like let's say biology. It will negate every other book and like facts and knowledge, and it will go directly to biology. So specifically targeted, and he was trying to look for, I forgot what he was trying to look for, like in the beginning of the universe or something like that, to help them out in this like big war. So they were trying to gather information by coming into contact with this, but it was too much for them and it overloaded them. Once again, they both failed to do so, and Superman knocks back and hits a kid, knocks him down. Luckily, they're in limbo, so the kid can't really die. So he does knock him back. So once again, Superman is having help. It makes no sense for him to have help if he has infinite strength, and if you divide infinite by infinite, then why is Shazam there? Just to be like, hey, I want to look helpful, but I know I'm not going to be actually doing anything. That's just dumb. But yeah, they both fail to hold it. Second of all, it's not infinite. It has a finite amount. Third thing is the book itself, they weren't even trying to lift it up. It was already, you could see in the image itself, it was in a blue sphere, blue orb sphere. So it was already lifted up above the ground. When they first see it, it's in like a little room area, and there's a little thing that is like a podium where it is, and it's already hovering above that. So they weren't lifting it. It was already in the air itself. All they were doing was trying to touch and get the information. And they both failed, but Ultraman, which was in the final scene, he actually was able to read the end of it. So you tell me both Superman and Shazam, who has infinite, can't read it, but Ultraman can. And Ultraman has been shown multiple times to be weaker than the main continuity Superman. So both instances, no, they were not infinite. Wait, one was, if he was infinite, he would have gone through the planet and created a supermassive black hole. The other one is, it's stated to have a finite amount of pages. Also, he wasn't lifting that book. The book was already hovering. He was just trying to get the information. And he failed in that one. And the other one, he also failed with the help of Wonder Woman, and it was taken by Green Lantern. Once again, this is why I feel that they're very disingenuous with their information that they give.
Survived an explosion equal to 50 supernovas, flew through the center, held a black hole, survived.
This is important to take. What happened in this comic book issue was basically Superman destroyed a sun eater or a star eater. Basically, these are beings in the universe that eat stars, and it ate like, I think, 50 red giants. So it ate some red giants, and Superman did something to cause it to go off and detonate. And as he did this, Superman was like, oh crap, it's about to explode. So he started flying away as fast as he could so he wouldn't be hit by the full force of this explosion, because it would have had the force of 50 supernovas. And on top of that, it had red star radiation, so it would depower him also. So he was scared and he was flying away. And it's funny that they're saying that he tainted. Once again, he tanked some of it, but not all of it. If you understand how science works, you know that in any blast, whether it's a bomb or a star exploding, there's a blast radius, and there's different zones. There's like the zone where you would basically take the full brunt of the force and most likely die. There's the one where you will have at least somewhat of a chance of surviving, where you will take still majority of the explosion, but not too much. Then the more you go out of it, the less and less the damage becomes. Only when you're in the center area would you feel the full force of that the energy exploding out. But the further away you get to it, especially the shockwave area, is where you get hit by fractions of the explosion itself. Especially a star, the fact that it's blowing up that big, that would mean that most of the surface area that's hitting Superman's body would be only getting hit by the energy. So the rest of the parts where it's empty, the energy would be going through. So he wouldn't even be getting hit by the full force of the shockwave itself, because it will disperse equally throughout all sides, and by doing that, it will divide it more. And the amount of force he takes is would be applied due to how much surface area he has. So the smaller surface area, the less damage, the less amount of force he would be exerted on him. The more amount of surface area, the higher the force will be on him. Superman is a very tall guy, but he's nowhere near the size of like a star, obviously. And it's funny, in this comic book, there was a narration from Superman's dad, Jonathan Kent. He basically said, he was talking about Superman. He's like he was in danger in that day. The star exploded, and if the radiation that was following him touched him, he would have been incinerated instantly. And he literally, a panel before this, he would have been incinerated instantly. But luckily for him, that day, he didn't need saving. He got out of it. And they even showed right here. This says the explosion was about 50 times the size of Kepler's supernova. The electromagnetic shockwave came rushing towards Clark at the speed of light. So once again, so there it proves that he wasn't hit by the full force. They said he was hit by the electromagnetic shockwave. He was not hit by the radiation or the actual energy. The electromagnetic shockwave, that because when stars blow up, they shoot out radiation, and they also shoot out an electric pulse out there. So he was only hit by the shockwave, once again proving my point of he was hit by a fraction of the explosion. Also, they said it moves at the speed of light. So if Superman, he's many times faster than the speed of light. If he's flying away and this thing's only speed of light, he would still, even though he got hit, he would still have a good amount of distance away from the explosion before it touched him, at least a couple of light years away. So when it touched him, it would be a couple of light years in distance, making it far weaker than what it would be at the center. So no, Superman did not survive an explosion of 50 supernovas, but he did survive a fraction of that and the electromagnetic shockwave of that. I don't know how much that is, but he survived a portion of it, not the whole thing. So no, he did not survive a whole 50 supernovas.
An explosion equal to 50 supernovas flew through the center of a red sun, which is like tanking millions of nukes rapid fire, and once easily absorbed enough solar energy to vaporize half a galaxy.
Now, this instance, what happened in this one was, I think this was called Armageddon or something like that. I might be wrong, but it was this big enemy called Magadon or some crap like that, and he had this star thing that he was gonna like destroy, like I think half the galaxy and stuff. And this was the power source, and the power source basically, it was like I think they called it was anti-solar power. So basically, it was the opposite of solar power. And Superman he was chained up inside the machine. He broke free, and the only way to stop them from vaporizing half the galaxy was for him to absorb the energy from this. So basically, since it's an anti-solar system, solar energy thing, it was absorbing the solar radiation from his body, and that was negating the effects of the battery itself. So it was basically like a drainage system. So I guess you can argue that it was half a galaxy of power that he was able to absorb, but more likely it was the fact that scientifically they had the opposite level, like it was the polar opposite, like antimatter and positive matter. When they came into contact, it started canceling each other out. Now, I don't remember if he fully stopped this, but they do stop him doing it this way. He does like lower the power by doing this. Yeah, the Magadon warhead, that was like the enemy that was trying to use it. So there's more to it than what they're saying. The only reason that he doesn't have the power of half a galaxy, that's ridiculous. He hasn't shown that level of power. This absorbing that energy is due to the fact that they're opposites, so they negate each other.
And to put an end to the Wizards magazine argument, here he is getting thrown from orbit into Earth with enough force to devastate the planet and cause nuclear winter. Oh look! He stood up moments later, more pissed off than hurt. Oh, and by the way, none of this was pre-crisis.
Believe us, we know none of this makes any logical sense.
And hey, it's not our fault. These writers just keep making Superman the most impossibly OP guy ever. That's kind of what he's all about.
Exactly. Superman isn't just a sketch on paper. He's an ideal. Superman and Goku are more than just characters. They
Soul levels. He inspires people.
Obstacle Goku
This matchup, his world just doesn't fit the same mold.
Superman is an all-powerful being who is only weak to alien B. Superman's is the story of a god. That's why he doesn't wear a mask.
Right now,
Technically, if Goku could find a way to draw energy across multiverses, his spirit bomb could possibly achieve the kind of limitless power to match Superman. But
So they're saying Superman has multiversal level power. And they're not just saying like the highest level of Superman. They're just saying Superman in general. Any form has multiverse level power. BS. He doesn't even have universal level power. People say this, but you know, people like to talk about Goku not having universal level power, but at least they had an instance where they shown it and argued it. Superman doesn't have that case at all. People make stuff up, and there isn't really a strong case that he is even universal level, let alone multiversal level. So if he was able to gather energy from the multiverse, it would obliterate Superman. Just saying, if he was able, like Superman, he was able to gather it fast enough before Superman was able to do anything, and he was able to get it from a multiverse, then yeah, he would obliterate Superman.
not only would that take way too long to charge, providing Superman with plenty of time to kill him thousands of times over, the spirit bomb does not hurt anyone pure of heart, like Superman.
Wrong. I already just proved this once again. They did this to take away one of Goku's most effective and powerful techniques, so they can make it easier for Superman to have a win.
Gohan, you have to bounce it. God Super Saiyan was about on par with Golden Frieza. When asked about Golden Frieza's power level at a panel, Frieza's voice actor said that since Frieza was a nice guy, it's probably 100 quintillion. Which is a pun, because power levels are nothing more than a big joke.
Superman has been beaten in battle before, when he was still learning. Saying Superman should lose because he lost to Doomsday is the equivalent of saying Goku should lose because he was one shot by Raditz.
No, first of all, they say when he was starting off, they don't give us a specific time where Superman fully realized his potential to the max, where he was, found that he had infinite power. Because they're saying this is when he's early on, and I'll prove to you guys why this is wrong. Because at this point in time in the Superman lore, Superman was here for decades. This was in the 80s, and Superman started in 1938 or 39. So this was decades after his conception. So that's very wrong. And then on top of that, the fact in that like continuity itself, he was already Superman at that time. He was already a big name superhero. He was already working in Metropolis. He was already in a relationship with Lois Lane, and she knew his secret identity. That's why she cried when he died. He at that time was already part of the Justice League and was one of the big founding members. He fought all of his other villains prior to this. So he had his story. He was down the line very, very far. So tell me, how was this the beginning? Because Goku's case was, this was really the second series and the beginning of it, and right off the jump after Dragon Ball, where he was a kid for most of the time then. Now he's an adult and he has a son. So how is that the same? Superman was already very well pre-established before he faced Doomsday. He was already Superman. He was already a reporter. He was already in a relationship with Lois Lane. She already knew his secret identity. He was already in the Justice League. They fought countless times, and he fought different forms of Lex Luthor. He fought Darkseid, all these other characters, and now he fought Doomsday. So how was that when he was first starting off? That's BS. By that time that he fought Doomsday and the death of Superman, Superman was already well established in his career and very far off, even in that continuity itself. So that is a false equivalence.
We are looking at these characters at their maximum potential, not from some random point in their timelines.
Goku may have divine ki now, but it's still ki, not magic.
Ki may be spiritual in nature, but it's still a natural source of living energy even Superman possesses. In fact, Dragon Ball emphasizes a clear difference between ki and magic.
And if Goku did destroy the sun or the planet, he can't survive in the vacuum of space. Superman can and could always just fly to another yellow sun, or even a blue one, which boosts his powers even faster.
Ultimately, Goku versus Superman comes down to a difference of limits and purpose. What makes Superman?
Fucking super.
Now this video was kind of dry. I'm pretty sure still the recording was a bit longer, but it wasn't as long as the other one. I just want to say that this one was kind of lackluster compared to the first one. The first one, they put at least a ton of effort into it, even though the information they're putting in was definitely incorrect, and I don't agree with what they were saying. At least they did some stuff. Here, they put a couple of feats, and it was just to say, hey, look, we're right, you guys are wrong, just don't argue. Even though it's not true, Superman is not limitless. Show me a writer of Superman that stated that he has infinite power, or a comic book where he's shown he's had infinite power. Because those two arguments that they had for him lifting infinity, I already disproved as incorrect. He failed in both of them, and the context that it was infinite, I already disproved those arguments. And the 50 supernovas stuff also wouldn't prove that he, even if he did tank it, wouldn't prove that he is, he has infinite powers or no limitations. It just shows that he's very powerful. Also, he did get hurt by it and knocked out. So yeah, and he didn't get hit by the full force. He only got hit by the shockwave. So they lie a lot and they make a lot of stuff up. So I don't really take what they say seriously. I used to take it seriously to the point where, like, when I mean seriously, I used to take it seriously as in I would get mad. But now I'm just like, their stuff don't really make sense. And obviously they're just doing this to stir up controversy. Once again, I'm not saying Goku would beat Superman, but I'm definitely saying that the videos that they're making and their analysis on why Superman would win are BS and are just stupid. The last video was annoying because of how much inconsistencies they had, especially in a short amount of time. Whereas this one, they put barely anything in it, and it was just dumb. I felt like the other one, even though it had quite a bit of inconsistencies, at least it was better done than this one. I don't really like how they did this one. So since this one was a lot shorter recording, I'm going to be able to upload it a lot faster. And it's still pretty early on right now. So I'm going to be actually making another debunking video on a death battle. And I think I'll be doing Goku Black versus Reverse Flash. And then on Monday, I'll be doing Kirby versus Boo. So stay tuned for it in a bit. I'm going to be making that video when I'm done recording this. So I hope you guys enjoy this video.